Hey guys, welcome back to the Math Bench. This week we're going to continue working with subtraction in larger numbers. We're going to be focusing on lessons 20 through 24, and each lesson is going to build on subtraction using the number bonds, place value charts, unbundling tens and hundreds, and solving using the vertical method. So let's go ahead and see what we have upcoming for this week. On Monday we have lesson 20, use number bonds to break apart a 3-digit number to subtract from 100. The instruction for our question here says, solve using number bonds to subtract from 100. It wants you to set up a number bond in the correct orientation. So in this instance, 114 minus 50, 114 would be your total at the top, 50 would be the part of your number bond, and it wants us to find the missing part. In order to do that, we have to solve 114 minus 50. 4 minus 0 is 4, but then when we go to our tens place, 1 minus 5 will not work because 1 cannot handle 5 by itself, so your 1 needs to go to the hundreds to get some help. The 1 allows it, and it gets 10 tens there, so then you have 10 minus 5, and that gets you 5 tens left over, and you do not have any hundreds left since you borrowed from it earlier, and thus you're left with 54. You could do 54 plus 50 and check if it gets you 114, and that's how you know that you subtracted correctly. For lesson 21, we are going to be using manipulatives to represent subtraction with decomposing 100 into tens and 110 into ones. So before, when we were adding, we were composing. Since we're subtracting, we're decomposing. Now let's go ahead and take a look at number 1 here, where it says 157 minus 74. It says specifically in your instructions to use a place value chart and to use place value disk to solve it. So we have our hundreds, tens, and ones chart set at the bottom, our place value chart. And if you start off by giving 100, 5 tens, and 7 ones, they want you to take away 7 tens and 4 ones. Well, luckily with our ones place, we had 7 ones. If we take away 4, we're only left with 3. But in our tens place originally, we only had 5 tens to work with, but they want us to take away 7. That's not going to work, so we need to go over to the hundreds place to regroup and give ourselves some more tens. In doing so, not only did we have 5 tens, we gave ourselves 10 more tens, and thus that gave us 15 tens. So if we have 15 tens and we take away 7 of them, we're going to be left with 8. Now, one of the more unfamiliar things about this problem is looking at one of the answer choices of where you have to circle. And it says, I unbundled the 100 and I unbundled a 10. Did we unbundle 100 here? Yes, we did. We took apart the 100 to give us more tens. But did we take apart the 10? Did we unbundle 10 to give ourselves more ones? No, we did not unbundle a 10 to give ourselves more ones, so thus we only unbundled the 100. That'll be the yes, and if I unbundled a 10, that would be a no. For lesson 22, we are going to relate manipulative models to the written subtraction method. So here for our instructions, it wants us to solve 97 minus 69, but it wants us to use the vertical form and our place value chart and place value disk, and it wants us to unbundle if we have to. So looking at our vertical method on the left, we have 97 minus 69. Your 7 cannot handle the 9. It's going to go to the tens place for help. Your 9 is going to give 7 10 more, but your 9 becomes an 8, and 10 more than 7 is 17. Thus you have 17 minus 9, that is going to be 8, and your 9 used to be a 9 but is now an 8, and it's going to be 8 minus 6, and you're going to be left with 2, and thus you get 28. If we're looking here at our place value chart, it's the same thing, just done with place value disk. We originally were only given 7 ones, but they wanted us to take away 9. We did not have enough, so we had to go take away 1 from the tens place to give ourselves 10 more ones. Well, in doing so, that gave us 17 ones, and if we take away 9 from 17, we're only left with 8 ones. And since we lost a 10 because we had to unbundle it and give it to the ones place, we were only left with 8 now, and if we take away 6 from 8, you're only left with 2, thus resulting in the same answer of 28. For lesson 23, we're going to be using math drawings to represent subtraction with up to 2 decompositions. So if we look at our instructions here, it says for us to solve vertically, draw chips on the place value chart, and unbundle when needed. That is only if we have to, and in this scenario, we do. For number 1, 153 minus 46. It wants you to solve vertically, so solve it vertically. If you try and do 3 minus 6, your 3 cannot handle the 6, it's going to go to the 5 for help. Your 5 becomes a 4, but your 3 becomes a 13. So you get 13 minus 6, then you get 7, but 4 minus 4 will result in 0 for your tens place. And since your 1 in your hundreds place was left untouched, and you're not taking away any hundreds, it's going to go to the bottom, and you're left with 107. It's the same thing here for our place value chart. We are originally only given 3 ones, but that was not enough to take away 6, so we went to the tens for help. They gave us 10 ones to work with, and thus we had 13 in total. So 13 minus 6 would get us 7, but since we already used a 10, we were only left with 4, so if we wanted to take away 4, you would be left with 0, and since we did not have to unbundle anything from the hundreds, we would only be left with 100. And thus your answer is 107. And last but not least for this week, we have lesson 24, subtracting from 200 and from numbers with zeros in the tens place. This is a totally different skill, but allow me to explain to you so that way you can understand. So, our instruction wants us to solve it vertically, and it wants us to draw chips in our place value chart and unbundle when needed. That is not changing. However, with 108 minus 79, we do have a little bit of a problem after we regroup in our ones place. So if you look at 8 minus 9, obviously the 8 is not going to be able to handle the 9 by itself, but your 8 has to go and find help somewhere. Well, if you look at your tens place, you only have 0. 0 cannot provide 8 any help, so you have to go another step next door, which is your hundreds place. Your 100 is going to give 1 to the 10 though, but that is not the number that needed help. The ones place needed help, and that number is the 8. The 8 needed help first. So that 10 is going to turn into a 9, and then your 8 is going to turn it into an 18, and then we can subtract as normal. 18 minus 9 is 9. 9 minus 7 is 2, and we didn't have anything in our hundreds place because we had to unbundle it to not only help our 8, but also help the 0 as well. It's the same thing for our chart. We were only given 8 ones, they want us to take away 9. Well, we needed help from the tens place, but they did not have any, so we had to unbundle from the hundreds to give us 10 tens, and then we had to borrow a 10 to give us help with our ones to give us 10 more ones, and thus that gave us 18 ones. You take away 9 of them, you're left with 9, and then instead of your 10 tens that you had originally, you only have 9 tens now, so when you take away 7, you're left with 2, and our hundreds place does not exist anymore because we used it to help unbundle for the tens place, so ultimately it could help the ones place. This is a form of double regrouping of where we need to unbundle 2 separate times in order to help the ones place. This is a skill that is fairly new and is not something that we've been practicing recently, but especially on this day, for Friday, we will be doing a lot of examples that help deal with having to regroup across a 0, and no matter what place value it's in, because if your number is 1,000, you could have a 0 for your hundreds and your tens, and you would need to regroup across those as well. But using the same rule, it should all be fine, as long as both of your answers match for vertical form and your place value chart, in this case 29, that should result in you getting the correct answer. And that wraps up lessons 20 through 24. This week has a big focus on understanding subtraction through place value, using number bonds, unbundling your tens and hundreds, and connecting models to the written vertical method. Thanks for watching the Math Bench, and be sure to check out the previous videos if you ever need help to recap anything. But that should be the end of the video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend.